everyone to non-apologetic news. News for people who hate the news. If you're looking for the typical stuff you get on MSNBC, NBC, Fox News, you will not find it here. I am Travisty. This is Body Bag. We are non-apologetic news. First up today, the news takes us to the East Coast, where a bitter divorce between a top New York City spine surgeon and his beauty queen wife was quickly settled last week after he made tawdry accusations in court papers that claimed she was moonlighting as a high-priced call girl. Now, one thing to note about this woman, she is a former Miss Connecticut, so bit of a prize to some people. Now, he filed a 264-page filing in Manhattan Supreme Court in which he alleged that his 32-year-old wife had also pocketed nearly $700,000 in cash from him since they were married in 2015. Now, he says that he had substantial earnings as a spine surgeon, figured doesn't have to keep track of it. She's not going to steal from him, right? She tried to cover up her secret sex work by telling her hubby she had a tech startup and was receiving venture capital funding. She also claimed she had to travel for work and that she was going out with girlfriends. So, she was a call girl and she was stealing money from him. Now, I have a picture of this woman right here. Former Miss Connecticut. Not too shabby. I mean, she's not the prettiest girl to me, but she is a pretty lady. What do you think the average guy would pay for that? You know, a bit of a prize to be had here.
I imagine probably about $4 or $5 grand.
See, $5 grand is what I was going to say. I don't know how it works. You get a 2-hour block, you get a 4-hour block, but probably $5 grand. And she was doing it for years, probably doing it before. I don't know. I'd say it's not. Oh, well, see, on the second picture, that looks more like a prostitute to me.
Very much so.
Now, I have a personal relationship with this story. A few years ago, I was dating a girl. We got pretty close, you know. I thought she was pretty awesome. She used to live diagonal from you in Webb. Her name started with an S. I don't want to say her name.
Yep.
Okay. Now, this girl I had dated, we had become extremely close. There was a store up the road from me. It's not so much a gas station, more like a general store. Now, the guy who ran the general store, he took all of his money and he'd spend it on prostitutes. We all knew this. We'd go in there. He'd show us photos of these girls he was banging for money or whatever. So me and this girl, we pull up and I'm like, hey, come in and pick out what you want to drink. So she was adamant about not going in. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, right? So I was like, just come in. So she came in and then I catch the, 65-year-old man winking at this 25-year-old girl. And I was like, hey, guys, what's this? So we wind up leaving. None of them said anything. And I probed her a little bit. And she was like, yeah, okay. I don't fuck the guy, but I suck his dick for money. And she was trying to prove the point that it wasn't a big deal because she was only dick sucking. So she starts going through her phone and showing me messages to prove this. And while she was showing me, I look over and I see more stuff. And I'm like, hey, what's that? Turns out she was also she was cleaning people's houses nude, and then if they had extra money, she would also have sex with them. So she was a keeper. So I tried to end it with her, right? And she just wouldn't take no for an answer. So a couple weeks after all this crap happens, I'm actually at his house and we're having a couple beers, and I tell her I'm out with another girl just to get her to leave me alone. Now, I pass out on the couch, right? And apparently you hear a big, you know what? Anything I tell from right now is what you told me. You remember this? Why don't you continue with the story?
All right, yeah. So like you said, you're passed out on the couch. Your phone is blowing up. It's me and another buddy over there. And I look at it, I was like, that's S right there.
That's
I could call on her. And it stops. I was like, looked at the other guys like, she's going to show up here. I didn't even get that sentence finished. Then boom, boom, boom. On my door like the police. Open it up. She just storms right in. Wakes you up, gets you up, and then just punches you right in the mouth.
Yeah, see, that's what I remember is I heard a commotion, and as I go to sit up, I don't so much as get my eyes open, and thwomp, she just punches me right in the head. And didn't she just turn around and leave after that?
Yeah, she had a few choice words for you. Then, yeah.
Oh, did she? She had other things to say.
Yeah, and then you booted her out, and
Oh,
Then I think we went and lit a bag of poo on her front porch.
I remember that. She was swinging on me. And so I have to grab a hold of her just to stop her arms from swinging and just push her out the door and slam it shut. And then, yeah, she was banging on it. I guess there's a moral to be had here. You know, even hookers have feelings.
Yep.
What do you got for us today?
All right. This is a real shitty story here. Okay, so this couple, they hook up on Tinder. They go out on a date. Guy takes this lady back to her house. Have some wine, watch a documentary on something. Scientology, I guess. Well, at some point, the lady, she has to use the bathroom. Well, she goes and does that, comes back out. She's panicking. Apparently, she took a poo, and it was too big to flush. So, what she did was grab some toilet paper, take the poo, and throw it out the window.
Wait. She grabbed a hold of the actual...
Yes, grabbed the turd and just flung that sumbitch right out. Well, what she didn't realize, though, outside that window, there's about just a small gap to another house who also happened to have their window open. So the poo didn't just go outside. It went into the other house. So they decided to go outside and try to crawl through the other person's window to remove this poo. And she gets stuck, and they have to call the fire department to come save her from...
Wait, she gets stuck in between...
In the other house, trying to get into the house to get the poo out. She gets stuck upside down. Has to be rescued by the fire department.
That is out cold.
Now, so what kind of... Did it say what punishment she got? Like, what happens to a person?
I don't think she got in any trouble. I think they broke the window. They started to replace that, paid for the broken window. But other than that, I think it was just a shitty night for him. And asked the guy was asked if he'd be seeing her again, and he said absolutely. There's definitely a second date coming.
Oh, hey, does that remind you of
when I was with that skank? A little bit.
That's what you refer to her as. I mean, I'd be a little bit nicer, but you're
when I was with that skank.
All right. Moving along. Next up, our news takes us to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where a Pennsylvania man was arrested after police find a severed head inside of his freezer. All right, now that's enough of a headline to get me interested right there. So what they're saying is that Meshi, as we'll refer to him as, of Lancaster, has been charged with criminal homicide, abusing of a corpse, and tampering or fabricating police evidence. So, this was prompted after a call for a welfare check after the police were called, saying that this man had told this person who called the police that there was a body in one of the beds and a head in the freezer. Okay? I mean, hold on, it gets a lot deeper than that. So, police say after they made contact with this man, he escorted them into the kitchen and removed what appeared to be a human head from the freezer. They later on confirmed it was a human head. Okay, Messi told detectives that he had found what he described as a cadaver doll in his father's bedroom, which he claimed looked and sounded just like his father. He then stabbed the cadaver doll to death for several minutes before taking the head off. Okay, now, I looked into this story a bunch, okay? This man was taking care of his, what I assume to be his elderly father, okay? So, I assume we have some little bit of mental illness here. A lot of methamphetamines. He looked like a winner. But anyways, so he was tired of taking care of his father. I assume his father was in there, can I get a drink of water? Can you change my diaper? So he went in there and he stabbed his father to death, right? But it doesn't stop there. His father kept nagging him. The cadaver dolls, we'll call it, kept nagging him. He then cuts his father's head off. Well, once again, as severed heads do, the head continued to speak to him.
Of course.
He then thought, well, I'm going to freeze it, right? That'll stop it. So he put it in the freezer, and then the woman that they're talking about that caused the welfare check, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was either his cousin or his sister. So he called his family member. They're like, where's dad? And he's, and fucking told him he was in the freezer, right? So I think there's a lot to be said here. He would probably still be at home if he hadn't told people, My dad always told me, if you have something you don't want the world to know, you don't tell the world, right? So
Makes
I think,
sense.
our takeaway from this story is that if you're the type of guy who cuts heads off, leaves mangled, dismembered bodies in beds, and you want to continue to do that, my advice is don't fucking tell anybody. You know, and we can all live a peaceful world, because us here at Non-Apologetic News, we like to offer advice. What do you got next for us, buddy?
All right. I'm not too big of a political guy, but watching this stuff this week. So we've had troops over in Afghanistan and whatnot for quite some time. Well, the president decides, let's bring him home. And, they get on the planes and everything. 10 minutes after they pull him home, Taliban takes over in Afghanistan, storms their presidential office, everything, all that. What I don't get, which makes sense, not only, he wanted to bring the troops home, but he left all our stuff there. Humvees, drones, weaponry, just basically supplied the Taliban with all our shit.
Okay, I've made it a point to stay away from this story, as I do most major stories, right? So I don't really know anything about this. So he pulls the troops out. Taliban just takes over the country. But didn't we? Didn't we train them, like their military and stuff, to like fight away these assholes?
See, that's what I thought. I didn't even know the Taliban still existed. I thought it was all ISIS now.
So what does that mean? The Taliban is now the government, or they're like?
Pretty much, yeah. They took control. Like whatever Afghanistan has presidents or whatever they got, they stormed their big office and took control of that, and they're trying to evacuate people out of Afghanistan, citizens. People are hanging on the planes while they're taking off because there's so many, and they're falling from the sky. And
I did see something. It said
it's crazy over there.
The Oklahoma, we're near Oklahoma for anyone listening, but that the Oklahoma governor had said he will provide safe haven to 100,000 people from Afghanistan if they want to come over. And if I read the story right, he's saying like, we'll support you, we'll give you food stamps, some form of welfare. And I saw just like the comments from that of people exploding, like, take care of our own, how dare you give them, blah 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 blah. Now, are our people still over there? That's sort of the important thing I think to say here. I
don't think too many. So he brought a lot of troops home, and I don't know if they're going to send them back to try to fix this or what, but It's just a hot mess over there.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. If we did, in fact, train them and then they just rolled over for the Taliban, I don't know if I really feel too bad for that. What are we supposed to do? Stay over there forever? But I don't know shit about shit when it comes to the military, so my opinion, of course, does not matter. Downright laughable, as they will say. Non-apologetic news. All right, and it is finally that time. Do you know what time it is?
Scar time.
Time for a review. Could be old products or they could be brand new. All the red tape we're about to cut through. And if it sucks dick, yeah, we're gonna tell you. That's always been our motto here. If it sucks dick, we're gonna tell you, all right? So, as y'all can already tell, we have a review. Now, the product that's been sent to us today is from a company called Privada Cigars, I believe is the company. Now, you think, why are you doing cigars? Well, this cigar actually has a little bit of a relationship with us because they collaborated with Rittz. Now, if you don't know who Rittz is, you don't listen to hip-hop. If you listen to Yellow of Jelly Roll, Tech Nine, anything like that, there are very few people who can keep up with Rittz on a technical scale. Now, he's partnered with this company, and they've gotten together and made a signature cigar for him. It actually has his own face on it and everything. And we were nice enough they were nice enough anyways, that we were able to get a couple of them. They are coming from Privada Cigar Club, PrivadaCigarClub.com, and it is Ritz's Jesus Blanco is what they call it. Now, the reason we're doing this is that I'm curious if this is a real product. In other words, is this a product they developed together, and actually cared about? Or is this something they slapped Ritz's face on? His face is actually on it. Is this something they slapped his face on to make a quick buck? I don't know. I've left these sealed since they came in, and I'm curious. What I would like to do, I think the simplest way here is we give it a grade. We give it a grade 1 out of 5, and we do that on 2 separate categories. We have presentation, which matters little to none, but it kind of does because it's supposed to be a high-end product. And then there's also taste, and I can smell them already from here. They did a good job of sealing these right here. I like these little things. Take the moisture out of stuff, put it in my kratom, whatever. All right, here you go, buddy. Oh, we want to thank the guys from PrivadaCigarClub.com. You can get these right now. Now, these have a picture of Rittz. His actually, you know, he has a pretty animated look. You can draw that up pretty good. It's a good size cigar. Don't know how on. Oh, you just opened. All right, yeah. Yeah.
You got a cutter?
I do not have a cutter. We'll do a split right there, too. All right. We are nothing if not prepared. We are back for take 2 with our cigars ready to go. All right. Like I say, let's give it a 1 out of 5 first off on presentation. What do you think? The way it looks, everything so far, your packaging, your little Rittz label, the whole 9.
I say it looks pretty good. It's like
out of 5.
we'll give it a 4, 4.5.
All right, 4, because we'll do 2 categories out of 5. That'll give both of us a out of 10 score on the thing. You know, I'm gonna go ahead. You know, as far as cigars go, I don't know what more they could do to it, so I think you know, I'm gonna give that a 5 as far as presentation. Go ahead and light yours up and let's see. You know, it smells really nice though. It doesn't smell like just like a piece of crap that they just slop together, because that is the concern here. But if you know Rittz, as far as music goes, Rittz puts out a quality product, so we have no reason to truly believe otherwise with this thing. I don't know. We shall see. It's a little lighter for a big cigar. First impressions.
It don't taste too bad. I don't smoke a whole lot of cigars, but
instantly, this reminds me of like being a kid and like not being able to get cigarettes when you're like 12, and then all you can get is like a cigar you can like shoplift from the store, right?
Right.
All right. As far as taste, how are you feeling on the taste, buddy?
It don't taste too bad.
1 out of 5. Too bad is not on the scale.
I'll give it a 5 on taste. I've had a couple of cigars that just taste like absolute garbage at this.
You know, for me, I'm gonna go down a notch. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 4. Now, something I don't understand about cigars is, for one, as I'm sure anyone who smokes cigars regularly is looking at us and like, look at these 2 fucking idiots. They say you're not supposed to inhale cigars.
Yeah.
But why the hell are you smoking them? Then you ever see that guy? He takes his puff and he holds the smoke, you know, in his mouth. You can tell. I don't know. I think that's kind of douchey, but I guess it's kind of douchey smoking in front of all this expensive equipment as well. All right, so that puts me at a score of 9. And honestly, that puts you at a score of 9. So we're going to recommend this product, and it's actually not a bad price. I believe the price tag they have on these is $9.99. I don't know what the shipping is, but I mean, how much could it be? It's a couple cigars, right? And I do know they said they offer discounts for bulk prices. So you buy a bunch, you get a discount. Either way, I don't know. I think this is good stuff, and I think it's an A1 for me. What do you think about it?
I'm going to have to agree with you. This is a pretty good product.
I wonder if it would be good enough to roll up some weight in it.
That's a good question.
I imagine someone's already beat us to it, being the demographic these are sold to. All right. Now, as far as this goes, every week we will be doing this show. So every week, come back. If you like it, like, so more people see it, subscribe. We'll keep doing these things. Now, before we go, though, I do want to end this news program with a bit of knowledge from one of our generation's greatest philosophers. Pussy good, pussy sweet, pussy good enough to eat. Good night, everybody. Non-apologetic news. Non-apologetic news.